Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of December 28th through January 3rd, and let me be the first to say Happy New Year to you. We do have the first quarter moon that comes in on the 27th, 28th, and that can be a time where we feel impulsive, impatient, maybe a little bit active, kind of hard to get things done. But then for the rest of the week, we move into the waxing gibbous energy. And of course, that's a time for a deeper understanding and outlook, a good time to act on your intuition, and a good time for planning and just preparation, getting ready for the new things ahead, which comes in handy around the New Year's when we're all trying to make those New Year's resolutions. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Aquarius. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: communication is key. All right. And as I'm shuffling, we're going to kind of go through these readings, a little quicker than I normally would with last week, with the Christmas week and New Year's week this week. It's just, I know you're busy. I'm very busy too. So we're just going to kind of get through them a little quicker than usual. I promise that next week we'll be back into kind of a slower, relaxed pace, not only with tarot readings, but life in general, right? After the holidays, things do tend to slow down just a little bit, and we're off and running with a new year. So let's get right into this reading. Aquarius, December 28th through January 3rd. Communication is key. All right, Aquarius, your overall present energy is the Hanged Man. So you're coming into this week with some sort of new perspective, something that maybe you've just learned about something, and it's just kind of making you look at things in a whole different light. So, that's just an energy that happens to all of us every once in a while when you have kind of that paradigm shift. Oh, let me look at it this way. Your current situation is the Page of Wands. So it could be something that you're, very passionate about, that you're just starting to nurture, some new passion that's come about for you. Something that you're newly like, oh, okay, I really like this. Let me spend some time nurturing that and putting my time and energy into it. And let's see where this goes. You at the root of your situation is the Queen of Wands. So you're in a place where you're starting to have an understanding of this passion. And again, you're kind of like, okay, what is this? I like this. I think it's fun when we all make new discoveries about things that are new to us that we love. And that's just something that's, something that just makes you more excited to live. It just makes life more fun when you're doing something that you really, really enjoy, and especially when you're first starting to explore that thing. Now, this could be a thing, this could be some hobby or something, but this could also be a person. This could be a friendship that you're cultivating. It could be a romance that you're cultivating. So lots of things can come under that passion realm, whether it be a thing that you're doing, or a person, or something, just something you're engaging with. It could just be a book that you found that you're feeling super passionate about. So wherever that applies for you, take that and run with it. In your recent past, just you enjoying the fruits of your labor here with the Nine of Pentacles. So go ahead and do that. That's fine. Take some of that time and indulge. It looks like you maybe did that last week, maybe the week before too. Just kind of coming out of a past where you've been self-indulgent, and that's fine. And that may have led you to some sort of passion like this. When you're in that very relaxing mode and just kind of enjoying yourself, something new comes in, and you're like, oh, what's that thing? On your mind this week is the Knight of Swords. So something comes in very quickly for you. This could be an idea, but it could also be a message that comes in very quickly about really anything, but something that just comes in very, very quickly for you. It could be just a new idea that comes to you, or a new message that makes you kind of have this perspective change, right? That could definitely be something that happens. What is just ahead of you this week is the Ace of Wands. So, is this passion, or is this another layer of this passion? Again, this could be so many different things, but it's like you're making this discovery, and the universe is really encouraging this for you. This is kind of, when you have an Ace of Wands, it's just a big yes. So, the universe seems to be saying yes to this, not only this new perspective, but also whatever this is that you're nurturing. Does that come in the way of a new message? It could be. Also just a new fresh way of thinking, a new clarity that you have in your own mind when it comes to this. What is in your advice position is the moon card, which I'm not surprised to see because we do have in this waxing gibbous energy is definitely a time for your intuition to come through and for you to act upon that intuition. So I've seen the moon card along with the high priestess, and I've seen them together quite a bit in the collective this week. So a lot of people are feeling these intuitive thoughts, things that are just kind of coming, some knowing. And this could also be some collective thing that we're all feeling, which is very interesting to me, especially that I've seen those two cards together quite a bit. But pay attention to your intuition, to your dreams, to those synchronicities, things like that this week, to those hidden things. Pay attention, and they're there to guide you. And there seems to be quite a few of them this week. All right, what is beyond your control this week is the World card, which of course is a card of ending, but it's a card of perfect balance. I've also seen this card quite a bit this week in the readings, and this is the balance of just the end of the year. The year's over, we're starting a new year. It's just things are wrapping up. This is the end of the cards in the major arcana. This is the last card that the Fool encounters on any journey, and through the year, I'm sure we've all had different journeys that are happening, and things are just kind of wrapping up. Nothing we can do about that. It just is what it is, and we're about to enter into the new, bigger cycle of the year. All right, what is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is this King of Pentacles. So, is it your secret desire to really, sit in this knowledge of the material world, to really just have a handle on things like, your job, your bank account, your home environment, the things that you own? This is where that is that King of Pentacles knowledge is where that energy sits. So because this is in a position of, is this your secret desire, or are you trying to avoid all of those things? And that'll be a big question for you to ask yourself this week. And it might be something, if you're trying to avoid those things, those might be things you need to put on your list of resolutions, that you want to be better at, just managing your material world, managing your money, managing your job, managing your time, those things that are tangible. If it's not, if it is just your secret desire, that's great. If you're trying to avoid it, you may need to take a look at that. That'll just be your big question of the week this week. In your outcome, Aquarius, is the Queen of Pentacles. So, did we spend a little too much money? I'm looking back here at this, enjoying the fruits of your labor a little bit. And maybe if you did, maybe, the king and queen together. I mean, what that's like, just the most stable part of the masculine and feminine of that suit, of understanding the material world, and not just in that hard way of like just book knowledge like the king would be, but also in that feminine way, that nurturing yourself through the material world also, and through those material things. And I'm not saying be more material, but I'm saying to make yourself feel like you're look at this as almost like the it's the male and female, but think of like parenting yourself in that area, in the material area. Are you doing the responsible things that need to be done? And again, here we are approaching a time of resolution. So if you're not, it's time to make those resolutions, and if you are, pat yourself on the back. So that would be great. Let's see what's hidden from you this week. Is the Lover's card. So nothing here in the way of relationships. It's just not an important thing for you. We're going to cover these two up right here so that YouTube doesn't, put a strike on me because of that. I'll hover my hand over the World card, same issue, I guess. But yeah, you're not going to be too concerned about relationship this week. And I do think, again, listen to your intuition when it comes to that Moon card, and make those resolutions. You might have these new passions and these new things coming in for you. And is it kind of distracting you from your material world? Make sure that you're not so distracted that you're not doing something that's a responsible thing that you need to be up to. So let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word for Aquarius. Live from your spirit. So make sure you are doing things that, you're being drawn to do with this intuition. And with, whatever those little signs and synchronicities that you're getting. Also, we're forgetting that your overall message here was that communication is key. That was really sliding down off that deck. Communication is key somewhere. This could be with this Knight of Swords, which is the only sword. that I see on the table there. Yeah, there might be some communication. If that communication comes in, it may be that you need to communicate quickly back, just as quickly as that message comes in. So I wanted to mention that. Notice that. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Aquarius this week, and the card that you get is the card called Beauty. Today, you are a curator of beauty. You are blessed with moments that let you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that all is well in the world. And that's really the embodiment of this world card. You know, you've wrapped up this year, some things have happened, good things, bad things, but we're going to move ahead in a positive way. You know, make some of those resolutions. What is it that you want to change this year? But make sure you are just looking at the beauty of the world, because that's what we should all be doing. It's such a great reminder. So, Aquarius, thank you so much for being here. I know I felt like we rushed through this reading, but your time is important to you and you're busy, and so am I. We'll calm it down a little bit more next week. But once again, I did want to say to you, good luck with this reading and Happy New Year. See you next week. Bye bye.